कुंज बिहारी
जय राम कुंज
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय कुंज
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवार धारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधा रात बिहारी राधा रात बिहारी राधे प्रभुपाद 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 गीतायोर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गीतायोर प्रेमानंदे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवचनचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्रीमद् His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON 50 Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki the Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Shri Radha Rasa Bihari Bhagwan ki Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Gauranitai Bhagwan ki Nitai Gaura Premanande all glorious assembled devotees assembled devotees assembled devotees all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So I again welcome each and every one of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And we are reading from the canto number 1, chapter number 1, entitled as Questions by the Sages, and the text number 2. So already yesterday we recited as well as we have done the word to word translation. So today I will recite the second shloka translation, and we will go for the next purport, whatever is left. Okay. So text number 2. धर्म प्रोजित कैत्रवोत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सता वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परेरीश्वर सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिः तत्क्षणात्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in the heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for good realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. The purport, next part, it is from the second part, fifth stanza. Nothing is apart from the substance, but at the same time, the energies are different from the substance. This conception is not contradictory. Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly prom- promulgates this simultaneously one and different philosophy of Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janmadi Asya Sutra. This knowledge that the energy of the Lord is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord is an answer to mental speculators' attempt to establish the energy of the Absolute. When this knowledge is factually understood, one sees the conception of monism and dualism to be imperfect. Development of transcendental consciousness, grounded in the conception of simultaneously one and different, leads one immediately to the stage of freedom from the threefold miseries. The threefold miseries are those miseries which arise from the mind and body. The threefold miseries are: first, those miseries which arise from the mind and the body; second, those miseries inflicted by the other living beings; and third, those miseries arising from the natural catastrophes over which one has no control. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of the devotee onto the absolute person. The devotee is fully aware that he is one with the Absolute, and at the same time in the eternal position of servant to the Absolute. In the material conception, one falsely thinks himself to the Lord of all his service, and therefore he always troubled by the threefold miseries of life. But as soon as one comes to know his real position as transcendental servant, he at once becomes free from all miseries. As long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, there is no possibility of his becoming servant of the Supreme. Service to the Lord is rendered in pure consciousness of one's spiritual identity. By service, one is immediately free from material encumbrances. Uh, Over and above this, Srimad Bhagavatam is personal commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Sri Vyasadeva. It is written in the maturity of his spiritual life through the mercy of Narada. Sri Vyasadeva is authorized incarnation of Narayan, the personality of God. Therefore, there is no question as to his authority. He is the author of all other Vedic literatures, yet he recommends the study of Srimad Bhagavatam above all others. In Puranas, there are different methods set forth by which one can worship the demigods. But in the Bhagavatam only, Supreme Lord is mentioned. The Supreme Lord is total body and the demigods are different parts of the body. Consequently, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, one does not need to worship the demigods. The Supreme Lord becomes fixed in the heart of the devotee immediately. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended the Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Puran and distinguishes it from all other Puranas. The proper method for receiving this transcendental message is to hear it submissively. A challenging attitude cannot help one realize this transcendental message. One particular word is used herein for proper guidance. This word is shu shru shu. One must be anxious to hear this transcendental message. The desire to sincerely hear is the first qualification. Less fortunate persons are not at all interested in hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. The process is simple, but the application is difficult. Unfortunate people find enough time to hear ideal social and political conversations, but when invited to attend a meeting of devotees to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, they suddenly become reluctant. Sometimes professional readers of the Bhagavatam immediately plunge into the confidential topics of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which they seemingly interpret as sex literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to be heard from the beginning. Those who are fit to assimilate this work are mentioned in the shlokas. One becomes qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam after many pious days. The intelligent person with thoughtful discretion can be assured by the great sage Vyasadeva that he can realize the supreme personality directly by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, without undergoing the different stages of realization set forth in the Vedas. One can be lifted immediately to the position of Paramahansa simply by agreeing to receive this message. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते दिव्यै गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So the person who gets especially the opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as a very, very fortunate. And Srila Prabhupada, in the same shloka, in the last few stanzas, he is actually glorifying that person who is fortunate enough to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why when Prahlad Maharaj, when he gave first the 9 process of devotional service, his father with a very loving heart, with a lot of expectation that my son will say something to me which I want to hear. he asks what you have heard from your masters or gurus. And Prahlad Maharaj, with his innocence, he tells him, Shavanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischena Valakshana Kriyata Bhagavati Adha Tanmanne Aditamuttamam. So he says, actually, what I heard from my gurus is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivinam. These are the 9 processes of devotional service. And a person who wants to surrender himself to Lord Krishna, he should follow all these processes. And Hiranyakashipu was shocked. Generally, whenever we ask somebody any kind of a questions, even like a preacher or a speaker, when he gives Bhagavatam class or any kind of like person like me who is very conditioned, he asked a question. So, how was the class? So he's expecting that you should glorify. So, Prabhu, what a class, Prabhu, we never heard such kind of a story. So, most of the time we ask such kind of question in order to hear what we want to hear. We always have expectations of people, from people, and naturally we try to somehow or other, hook or crook, try to fulfill those expectations from people. So Hiranyakashipu did the same thing, and Prahlad Maharaj, as usual, being the obedient son, he denied that expectations. Okay. Then after that, Govinda Kaviraj Goswami, he was also explaining in his bhajan, Shabana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasya Re Pujana Saki Jana Atmani Vedana Govinda Dasa Abhi Lashre Govinda Dasa Abhi Lashre. So in that also, if we see the two acharyas, they are giving more emphasis to Shravanam part. The small child, when he comes to this life particularly, how he gained the knowledge about his own mother tongue or her own mother tongue just by hearing, right? Just by Shravanam, that child, he learns or she learns the mother tongue. Right? And other language he has to learn from the school. But most of the time, for mother tongue, we don't give any kind of a special class to the child. He just learns automatically. So Shravanam is that powerful. It is said that when we first uh, there in the womb of a mother and comes out the womb of mother, the first part or first sense which start working is actually our ear. And when we are on a deathbed, the last sense to stop functioning is our ear, hearing. Okay. So that's why this learning, how Abhimanyu learned how to enter inside the Chakravyuh in the womb of his own mother, right? Subhadramani. And then how Prahlad Maharaj learned about Supreme Personality of Godhead in the womb of his own mother, Gaya through. So that's why sanskaras are very important. After Garbhadan Samskar, even Garbha Samskar is also very important because child learns most of the things. His swabhava is decided what he is supposed to learn and how he is going to behave or she is going to behave, that can be learned inside the womb of mother. So that's why the sanskaras are that much important. Prahlad Maharaj learned in the womb of mother. Abhimanyu also learned inside the womb of mother. So learning is starts from listening by Shravanam. And many people will say about Shravanam, many people will talk about listening, but most of the time, listening to a lecture, and that too also such a beautiful atmosphere. See, the Indra Devata is so kripalu on us, having such a beautiful, wonderful atmosphere outside. In such atmosphere, the outsiders, they only want one thing. Garam garam pakoda and chai. Oh, sorry, those who are from some part of India, they love more coffee than the chai. And we have a very elaborate discussion on this coffee, right? So we require that. But listening to any kind of a discourse, especially the Krishna Katha or Hari Katha, requires a lot of austerity for Kali Yuga people, right? Most of the time I say one thing. In ISKCON, there are two mantras which are very powerful, which are the not Panchatattva mantra and Mahamantra. The first powerful mantra in ISKCON is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. प्रभु आप चलो, हम हैं पीछे समाधि में. यही तो है yoga. What is the ultimate step or ultimate goal of yoga? To be in samadhi, right? So yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, dhyan, dharana, samadhi, right? So ISKCON's mantra is so powerful. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We directly go to samadhi. And the another second mantra is very powerful. You know what? Mahaprasad Govind. My God, ho gaya. Lecture is over. Let's go for Mahaprasad. Prasad means what? Prabhu ke sakshat darshan. That is what a long form of prasad for the devotee, right? So Shravanam takes a lot of austerity. So if somebody wants to develop the interest in Shravanam, specifically wants to hear Krishna Katha, wants to, always having an interest in that Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam itself gives a formula how to develop the interest in hearing of the Supreme Personality Godhead's pastime. Shushrusho Shabdadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi San Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. Any person who wants to have a ruchi towards the Hari Katha, what he should do? He should serve the devotees of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if somebody sincerely serves the devotees of Supreme Personality of Godhead, in due course of time, gradually, he and she will develop the ruchi in Hari Katha. Remember, many times Srila Prabhupada using this word, gradually. He will learn the transcendental affairs. Gradually, he will be purified. Gradually, he will develop taste. Why this word is used by Srila Prabhupada so many times? Gradually, gradually, gradually. No? There is a saying called, exactly don't remember, but fast work is devil's work. No? People doesn't have patience and tolerance in their lives. We want everything instant. Khichdi, instant khichdi. Then after palak paneer banana hai, instant recipe chahiye karke. Just with a click, payment should be done. Instant payment should be there, right? Order kiya maine, instant order should be there. Previously there were the e-commerce companies, those who used to deliver you the product within 2 or 3 days. Now there are some e-commerce companies, those who give you products within 10 minutes. And we don't have 10 minutes to be jada older. So my God, where is the delivery agent? Let me call him. Why he or she is so late? Right? So we are becoming so impatient. Previously, people used to sit for a class and hear the class for hours and hours. There are so many classes given by so many speakers in ISKCON. Those who are like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, like that of classes have been given. And people used to sit. Nowadays, people, tolerance and patience itself became so impatient nowadays in 21st century, 2025. More than 10 seconds of reel, we don't want to hear anymore. Even that reel, it goes to for 30 seconds, we are impatient. Then just scroll it down. Scroll it up. So what is happening? Mind is already a chanchala. And in that, we are giving him a feedback and input of more chanchala things. So that patience aspect in our life is going down. So that's why one thing we should understand that in devotional service, everything happens gradually. Nothing happens over a night. There are very few souls or few incidences which happen instantly, just like Khatwanga Muni. Within a Vadakshana, he perfected his life. But of course, he helped demigods, those who are the servant of the Supreme Lord, and he already did his devotional service throughout his life. So it's not like that even within certain time period only he perfected his life. But yeah, of course, it is said within one kshana he perfected his life. So there are very few incidences where everything happened with a quick, right? But it never happens in actual common lives. It has to go through graduals. As soon as if somebody gets married, he or she, they cannot say, "Oh my God, now yesterday I got married. Today I've spent a night. Tomorrow I should have a child." Does this happen? No. People will laugh at us if we expect such kind of a things, right? It has to have certain time period. A woman has to serve her husband. Husband has to take care of a wife, and then there is a loving relationship. Then after minimum 9 months of period, child will be there. So they have to wait for that naturally, right? So nothing happens instantly. Everything has to go gradually. That's why Srila Prabhupada is giving us this reminder every time. Gradually, gradually, gradually. If person is a mode of passion, he wants everything very, the result should be quick. The process should be quick. People should be quick. So that is a lakshana of mode of passion, right? Chanchalahi mana Krishna Ramathe balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manne vayori vasadushkaram. Now remember, none of the word in the Shastra has been used whimsically. There is always a kind of meaning behind each and every word. So this particular shloka. Chanchalagi mana Krishna pramate balabhadridam rasyaham nigram manne vayudev sudushkaram. Arjuna says, I can even control the wind, but I cannot control my own mind. And Arjuna gives four characteristics of mind. What are those four characteristics in this particular shloka? Chanchala, he mana Krishna, pramate, balavan, and dridham. These are the four characteristics has been told in this particular shloka. Chanchala, pramata, balavat, and dridham. So how it is said? Chanchala. Arjuna is saying, my mind is chanchala, everybody's mind is chanchala, Lord, so I cannot control it. Krishna says, see, even the small children are chanchala. Our Bhagavatam, regular Bhagavatam listener, she is also chanchala, right? She cannot sit at one place. Children cannot sit at one place. They are chanchala, but if we take them, their charge, if we tell them, they will sit at one place. Chanchala imana Krishna. And that's okay. The children, they will roam here and there. And let them play with their own thing. Similarly, mind, let it play whatever it wants to play. Arjun said, no, this mind a rupee child is not a simple child. What he does, pramatha. It creates pramatha. So suppose she is now playing with her own, right? She's not causing any kind of a disturbance to us. But what if she comes here, she takes out a drawer, she takes out this donation box, takes out this drawer, takes this kartal, takes Srimad Bhagavatam, takes my mobile. What will happen? It's a pramatha. It will, everyone will get disturbed. So mind, although it's a chanchala, but it's not like a simple, innocent child which is very naturally chanchala. It creates pramatha. It's got disturbances in our life. So it's not an ordinary. Krishna says, that's okay. What you do, show some kind of an anger or discipline towards your mind, naturally it will listen. Arjun says, no, 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 no. This is chanchala. It creates pramata. It is a balava. Lot of strength is there. Listen, now child is such a fragile and delicate. You just take him, make him sit or her sit on your godi, whatever lap, and after some time, when that child comes to nothing will come out. It will become little bit peaceful. What if your child has a elephant strength? What will happen? You can't do anything. Just his or her touch matra will cause a lot of pain in your body because it has a strength of a hathi, an elephant. So my mind is like that. Even if I try to give it discipline, if I become angry towards my mind, still what will happen? That mind has a lot of bala. It will carry me up. And Krishna said, that's okay, but you should practice, should keep your mind stable, you should give some punishment, and after when you give punishment for certain time period, it will listen. Arjun says, no, it is very dridha, it is very determined. Even for hundreds of years, I give kind of a punishment to my mind, even after that 100 years, it will be determined to have a sense gratification and this chanchalatva, continuing that chanchalatva. That's how the mind is. So Krishna is Arjuna is explaining with these four characteristics. This is the precarious, pitiful situation of each and every one of us mind. Am I right? We are trying since so many years. My God, Rakshan Krishna Das is chanting 16 rounds since last 22 years. Still, he gets to sleep during chanting Hare. Still, his mind wanders. From Goregaon, it goes to Juhu. From Juhu, it goes to Pune. And from Pune, it goes to New York. And from New York, it goes to heavenly planets sometimes. That always happens. Even if we try, still it does. But what? Abhyasin Kaunteya, Krishna says. You have to do abhyas. You have to do practice. And when we do our sincere endeavors, Krishna's mercy will flow. And naturally, the one day, gradually one day will come when we will be successful in controlling our mind. So to control our mind, there are only two things which can help us. One is Krishna Katha and another one is Krishna Nama. And through these two things, when we will give sincere oral reception to those two things, naturally we will be successful. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying in Shikshashtakam, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Remember, this is the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever may be the situation of your life, the ultimate Vijay will be of Krishna Sankirtana. And if somebody is sincerely attaining that Krishna Sankirtana, that person will be victorious. So there is no need to give up the hope in our life. Till the time we are there with Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is there in our heart, in our beats, in our mouth. Till that time, there will be victory for sure for each and every person. So now, here Srila Prabhupada is giving certain insights in his purport. The first uh, stanza which we saw and read, Srila Prabhupada is giving the concept of Achintya Bheda Bheda. It is the wonderful contribution of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. There are certain acharyas in our Vedic Sanskriti, those who propagated with the will, because of the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, they propagated Advaitavad. That we are nothing and non-different than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we go to perfection, there is no more anartha within our body, in our heart. We become Supreme Lord. Dandagrahana matrena naro narayana bhave. That is what the philosophy is. So people consider themselves that once I become purified, I certain follow this process, and after following for certain number of years, I will become perfectionist, and then I will be equal with Supreme Lord. That is the illusory philosophy for them. Certain acharyas, they propagated Vishishta Advaitavad. Certain acharyas, they propagated Dvaitavad. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he gave us the Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. That we are simultaneously one with the Supreme Lord, but simultaneously we are different than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A very common analogy which we always give for the youngsters during the classes, there is an ocean. Goregaon has an ocean, beach. So we have an ocean. If you take a glass full of ocean water, is it a different than the ocean? It is. Because it is glass, it's not in the ocean. It's a water from glass. But still it is not different than ocean water. Why? Because it is taken from the ocean and the quality is the same. Ocean water is also khara. Specifically, Mumbai's ocean is a smelly one. Okay, it's a black one. And in ocean, there is lot of plastic. Sometimes the glass will also certain plastics, right? So it's non-different than the ocean water, but simultaneously it's different than the ocean water because the ocean is a vast, but the glass water is a very limited. So similarly, the living entity is same in a quality with Krishna. Krishna has the same, we have the same qualities as Krishna. Krishna has eyes, we have eyes. Krishna has nose, we have. Krishna has ears, we have ears. Krishna likes to be in happy mood. We also likes to be in a happy mood. Krishna in the form of Jagannath ji likes to eat chappan bhoga. How many of us likes to eat chappan bhoga? Don't tell me, Prabhu, no, we don't like because we have so many medical problems. No, we like it. Still we like, right? When there is a gulab jam, rasgulla, rasmalai, sandesh, barfi, we have a mind to eat it. Whenever there is a nice coffee, idli, dosa, sambar, we like to eat it, right? Yes. No, that desire is that Krishna also likes to eat. Krishna likes to eat makhan. In Vrindavan, Krishna likes to eat chappan bhoga when he is the Jagannath ji. When he is in form of Sri Ranganath, he likes to sleep. How many of us like to sleep? Today I really like to. Because we slept at 12 and got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So naturally, we have that desire right now. So definitely, whatever desires we have, Krishna also like. Krishna is Atmana. He doesn't require anybody to fulfill his desire, but still he loves to be with his devotees and let his devotees fulfill his desires. Krishna likes to fight with Sridama, Madhu Mangal. We also likes to fight, right? Sometimes we will fight with our siblings. Sometimes we will fight with our office colleagues. Sometimes we fight with our ashram mates. Sometimes we will fight with our life partners also, right? So we also likes to fight sometimes. Krishna also likes to fight. So that's why Radharani is there. That's why Sridama Madhumangal is there. And that's why Jai Vijay becomes Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Jagai, Madai. Because Krishna likes to have that Veer rasa. So Krishna has those qualities. We being a part and parcel of Krishna, we also has that quality. But Krishna has that quality of name, faith, beauty, renunciation, vast like an ocean and make a part and parcel. They have little. How much fame we might have within Goregaon, we have even a Bollywood celebrity person, how much fame he or she could have? Only within Bharat, how much a Hollywood celebrity might have? I mean, in the world, but not in ISKCON world because most of them we don't know. Most of the Bollywood celebrities we don't know, right? It was, you know, a kind of embarrassing situation for me. There was one very famous serial about Lord Krishna which just happened some years back. And the person who played the role of Lord Krishna, he became very famous. All over Bharat, he became very famous actually. Everybody was there. And he came to meet and have some kind of a time in Govardhan Eco Village. And I was present during that time. I went to that guest area for prasada, for breakfast. And I don't know his unfortunate situation or my fortunate situation. All tables were like completely full with devotees. There was only one place on my table where I was sitting, and only one chair was there, and my second one. And that person, he came and sat next to me. And naturally, being a brahmachari and as a preacher, we have urge to speak. We don't stop. And we started speaking. And we have a nice gala time, and I asked about his everything, and he won. I said, "What you do?" He said, "I'm actor." I said, "Drama, theater, Bollywood." He said, "No, no, no. I work in serial." Oh, serial, sir. Which serial you did? "Sir, I did this particular serial." Oh, nice, nice. Where it was? Which channel or this? Okay. So I was like, yeah. And suddenly people started coming, those who are there for the, what will you say, for a day visit or something. And they started, oh, take a selfie, take a, yeah. And I was like, I was sitting in front of him for half an hour. And I was like, at least he's supposed to be a very famous Bollywood celebrity or a serial celebrity. Karke na. Then I, you know, like with my embarrassing heart, I started searching for him. And he's quite a famous celebrity. And he got a lot of fame doing that Krishna character in that particular serial. And everybody was coming there and taking his selfie with him and after 10-15 minutes when I came after washing my hands, that person came to me and said, "I want to selfie with people." I said, "This is what a Krishna consciousness. You don't know anything about that person." But he became very much touched. Like what we are doing itself naturally, even those famous celebrity person, we are following our principles, not to see anything which is not, practical for devotional service, not favorable for devotional service. And the way we speak, we try to follow. So he was very impressed with it. Actually, I said I'm not a one person. There are two main stalwart people in ISKCON those who follow this principle much, much better than me. But he got impressed with ISKCON people. Like, yes, definitely. Right? In Maharashtra, we have a very one nice, you can see Kahavat or it's a line of Abhanga. It's line of Abhanga. Bole taisa chale tachi banda bhi paavo. The person walk your talk. That's what a simple meaning of this particular Abhanga. That person, when he speaks something, and if he tries to follow that same thing in his life, people will worship. That's why Sri Rupa Goswami Pad, in the nectar of instructions, he gave the first instructions to us. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, jivva vegam udarau vasna vegam, etana vegana yo vishaye tadhiraha, sarvam api mam prithvim shishya. Any person who has a very self-regulatory life and self-control on his or her life, that person will be worshipped by the entire earthly planet or entire. So Srila Prabhupada was that kind of a person. walk is strong. And that's why people now also worshipping